Yo, what is going on all my fucking savages? Coming at you today with a brand new salary cap gameplay. As you can see, this is the team we're going to be rocking with. Same team as last video, I believe. It's been a few days since a gameplay got posted on here. I've had like a pack opening and some large quick sells and stuff where I was talking about the Madden challenge, which actually just ended about an hour ago after I'm recording this. The finals was Problem versus Stiff, who's Madden Daily, if you know who that is. And he ended up beating Problem, man. He ended up beating Problem. I wasn't happy about it. I was definitely rooting for Problem. Definitely rooting for all the guys from the movement, and they just weren't able to bring home the W today. With that being said, though, congrats to Stiff. He won 20K. This was his first ever major tournament that he played in, and I'm happy for him. He's definitely going to be coming back next year, which is something else we got to talk about, is Madden 17 coming out. And at E3 yesterday, they announced that next year for Madden 17, there's going to be 4 tournaments with a total of $1 million on the line at each of the tournaments. So $250,000 for each tournament is the way I'm guessing that they're going to break it down, which makes sense. $1 million divided by 4, 250,000. So that's going to be a great thing for the competitive community. You know, the competitive community for Madden is definitely looking up. This is the first Madden where we've ever had 2 different EA hosted tournaments in 1 year, which is great. Madden 15 we didn't have any hosted tournaments by EA, and this year we got 2 of them. So it's a great thing to see that it's starting to look up for the Madden competitive community. It's also very cool to see the developers taking an interest in the game and seeing that the competitive community is being recognized and being thought about when the game is actually being made. Like when they were at E3, all of the final 8 competitors in the Madden Championship, they were all brought out onto the stage. There was a big piece done about Mo and Problem and them being like the 2 favorites and the 2 most popular and the 2 best to play in the competitive scene. But real quick, I'm not sure what happened. The guy just took 3 delay of games, got kicked for excessive griefing, excessive penalties. So I don't know. We're just going to go ahead and move into this next game, pretend that one didn't happen, and take that W. But back to what I was talking about before. It's an awesome thing to see that competitive Madden is being taken more serious, and it's awesome that we're going to have more money involved. Like, you see some of the bigger esports, and the biggest esports, I should say, like League of Legends, Dota. There's a 16-year-old kid from Dota that won $1.6 million at one event. And that event had like 500,000 people watching it. And that's so crazy. And they had an entire stadium sold out for the event. It was a crazy event to see. And, you know, even if Madden could get to like half of that stage or a fifth of that stage, you know, to be giving out millions of dollars at a tournament, EA's a big enough company that they could do it. You know, like Riot's a big company who made League of Legends. EA's just as big of a company, if not bigger. They make so many different games. They make so much money off their games. They could definitely afford to host bigger tournaments. I don't think they want to yet because they don't have the big following in the competitive scene. But adding a bigger prize pool, promoting it better, like this Madden Finals that just happened, it happened at 6 o'clock Eastern. It was on ESPN2. And that's crazy that they're showing Madden on TV. They did the same thing with the first Madden challenge at the beginning of Madden 16. It was on ESPN2 for the final game where Mo actually beat Skimbo and Mo won the 20,000. So I'm pretty sure it was the same 50K prize pool as the first time, but this time it was split between the top 8 competitors, which is another great thing because back in the beginning of competitive Madden, like 4, 5, 6 years back, you know, even further sometimes, the only person who won money was the winner. If you got second place, you didn't win anything. If you got third, you didn't win anything. And now top 8 are getting money. It used to be just first place or nothing. And that was just a crazy thing because in every other esport, it's top 8, top 4, top 6, top something other than just winning the event. Especially like for football, you play one game, and it's no different in Madden. in the competitive scene, you play one game, just like real football. It's not a best of 3, it's not a best of 5, 7, 9, or 11 like other competitive scenes where you have chances to bring it back. Whatever happens in that one game happens. So when you're playing someone extremely good like Stiff or Problem, which this actually happened in the finals, Problem, he fumbled on like his third play on offense when he was down 7. Stiff got ball, went down the field, scored, and then on like the third play, one of Problem's best players, he had golden ticket Gronkowski, he got fumbled from a hit stick by Rod Woodson. So Stiff got the ball on Problem's 30, 3 plays later, scores goes up 14-0, and now all of a sudden you're in a big hole that you got to start working your way out of. And you know, Problem was able to do a little bit better, try and help bring some of it back. He went down the field, he scored, and then Stiff scored again. It became 21-7. Stiff got real aggressive at the end of the half, could have taken a field goal, gone up 3 possessions, decided to go for it, and it got intercepted, and he stayed up 14 going into half. Problem got ball at half. He came out and he was getting real frantic, and he was trying to get down the field, make some plays happen, throw some aggressive catches, which just isn't Problem's style of play. He's a very run-heavy kind of person. He runs, he holds onto the clock, he gets time of possession, and then he lets his defense do the work. He lets his defense come out, make plays, they're able to get stops, and that's how he wins football games, and that's how he's always been throughout all the different Maddens. But when you're playing against a really good player like Stiff, who's very aggressive, he likes to throw the ball deep, the only time he really runs is when he runs a dive up the middle, which he was getting crazy blocks. It seemed like Steven Jackson, who was his running back, he had the flashback Steven Jackson, he was just trucking over people. He was getting 5-10 yards a carry. It was just crazy to see, which I'm not blaming him. If I'm getting 5-10 yards a carry, I'm not going to stop running either. You know, you do what works. But I'd never seen Steven Jackson be that good of a player going against anybody. So Problem started to get away from his game plan. He started throwing the ball out more. Stiff was able to send crazy blitzes at him. Like, I think at one point Problem was in like a 4th and 27 or something, and he had no choice but to go for it. And, you know, he didn't get it, obviously, 4th and 27. He didn't even get a chance to throw the ball. He got sacked almost instantly because Stiff had some crazy A-gap with Khalil Mack, the position hero Khalil Mack. He was in big dime, and he was running cover 2 man. And Khalil Mack would come straight in off the D-line without ever being blocked. It wasn't like it was a loop blitz like when your linebacker comes in, which is kind of like the defense that I run, where the linebacker will sometimes come in untouched. So I'd love to know what blitz he was running, because I might have to steal that off him. I'll steal his defense so fast that it'll scare you, because that shit was lethal, I'm telling you. He had a crazy defense, and when you have your defense playing like that, and then you're able to throw the ball down the field and get the one-on-one catches, it's going to be very hard for someone to beat you playing like that. But overall, I was super excited to see how the tournament actually turned out. It was very well done. There was very few disconnects throughout the game. In the beginning, on the first day, there was like 2 or 3. The second day, 1 if any, and there was none on the finals day. So it was real nice to not have a bunch of technical issues come up. You know, the stream never went down. We never had any big issues come up where, you know, the stream couldn't come on or the audio disconnected, anything like that. So it was super cool to see. I definitely think EA is taking a step in the right direction. I think, you know, all these people who are involved in the competitive community are going in the right direction. You know, previously, you know, a lot of people would just bash Madden and bash the gameplay, say, oh, it's a new roster update every year, and be super mad that there was no major changes. Well, and coming in Madden 17, we're getting a lot of major changes. At the end of Madden 16, basically, we had a huge new release of salary cap, and we have, you know, a whole new tournament basis, and this is basically, for the foreseeable future, this is how tournaments are going to be ran, is off of salary cap, which I think is great because it limits the amount of players who, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it's an OP player, like, you can't have 5 golden ticket receivers. I mean, you could, but if you do, a golden ticket receiver takes 100 points, that's 500 points, and you only get 1,000 to work with. So I definitely like the new salary cap. You know, it's not that new anymore, but I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy playing salary cap. It's not just your team winning for you. You have to have some sort of skill involved, and especially when you play at the higher level, like when you're in the elite, you know, 3, 4, 5-star range online, when you're playing against these people who go to tournaments. It's super cool to see that it's all finally starting to come together a lot better for the Madden esports, you know, community. I would love to one day be able to compete at one of these tournaments, you know, like this year I did play in the online beta, which if you made it into the top 64, you were put into a tournament to try and qualify to go into the top 16, and the top 16 went to Burbank to play. And I think I made it to like 160 or 170-ish on the list, but toward the end I started to drop when I didn't have as much time to play, and it was getting toward the end, so people were grinding more and more to try and push their way up into the top 64. I just didn't have the time to do it. You know, I have a job that I go to. I have stuff to do around the house. I don't get to play Madden for a living. I would love to. That'd be a great job to play Madden for a living, like some of these guys who play in these tournaments. But I just don't have the time for that, and I don't have the money to not work and pay my bills off of other money, because that's my source of income, obviously. But I'm definitely looking toward the future for Madden. It's looking very promising. You know, all these people are starting to take an interest. We're getting more prize pool money, which is going to draw more attention. It's going to bring more publicity. We have like ESPN taking an interest in the competitive community, so it's a great thing to see. With that being said, that's going to go ahead and do it for today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Peace.